Hello guys, still continuing our review of Pocket 380 pistols. In the lineup is the Ruger LCP, and I carried this for 2 years. I've tested 2 samples of this gun over the course of 2 years. This was my former everyday pocket pistol. It comes in at just under 10 ounces empty, which is incredible. In terms of the size, envelope, and weight. You literally slip this in your front pocket and you forget you're carrying it. It is clearly, design-wise, a takeoff of the Kel-Tec P380. Ruger apparently felt comfortable enough that the patent had run on that, I guess, and rather blatantly copied it. But they executed it extremely well. I mean, this thing is reliable. They probably built it better than Kel-Tec. It's reliable, it's paper plate accurate all day long at 10 yards. It's smooth. I mean, the controls are, there aren't any. There's an external extractor, there's a mag release, and a lock back for the slide. Oh, we're getting a little thunder in the background there. Probably start storming on me here. So what you have is a combat accurate, smooth, easy to carry, easy to draw, and easy to shoot for its limited defensive application. So a success, especially when it's coming in at a price point probably around $300, maybe even less. Just a tremendous value. Now I have replaced it, which would suggest to you that I think there's something better. Better all becomes relative to price point, I suppose. The gun I replaced it with was the Car P380, and I can find no faults with the Car P380. Here's a couple of the little things. The trade-off here is the car was a little heavier, but here's a couple of things. If you're considering a Pocket 380 and you think the LCP is a great option, I will concede to you it is a great option. But I want you to be aware of a couple of things. One is that over the course of firing, and this happened to me with both of my samples, this rear frame pin right here started trying to move port side on me out of the pistol. That happened to me on both samples. I would periodically have to just make sure I was pushing that back in. Another interesting thing, well, the other complaint I suppose are the sights. There really aren't any. And maybe this has to do with price point. If the machining that they have to do is very minimal, and that always saves money. There's a little bit of a nub of a front sight, and that's about it. There's a little bit of a trough back here, and that's about it in the way of sights. Relative to the defensive application for this pistol, I suppose one could argue that that is enough. However, a well-designed Pocket 380 is capable of more, and I think the sights, such as those provided with the car, allow one to shoot beyond those limitations and more to the full capability of the cartridge. Something that kind of bugs me, you should be aware of it. It's probably not a game changer for anybody. It was just a bit of an annoyance, and it should at least reflect to you how much I pay attention to these when I test them. Here's something that bothers me. It's a double action only pistol. I fire, right? Now my trigger is back, the slide cycles, the trigger's still back. Okay, it's time for a reset. As you let your finger out, listen. That little click right there would tell you, oh, the trigger has reset. So in a service type pistol, something bigger that you're using as a defensive weapon, from a service standpoint, coming out strong side of a holster, you would shoot quickly by noting your reset and being able to re-engage the trigger. Well, you just heard the reset, so now if I re-engage the trigger, that was not a trigger you just heard. In fact, my gun is now inoperable. It would not fire, I don't think, under that scenario. In fact, it didn't fire for me under that scenario when it happened on the range. And I was left like this, inoperable. Let me show you let me show you what to watch for. Okay, I just fired, right? It just cycled. My finger is still back into the trigger. I'm going to let it out. There's the click that you might think, oh, that's the reset. It is not the reset. Let's keep going. There's a second click. That is your reset. And now I can pull the trigger, and actually it does fire. Okay, there's a difference there. That first click is not a reset. So, at least not in my samples, not in either one of my samples. Check yours, since you're not going to be going with a critical short reset and trying to go rapid fire as you would in a service pistol scenario. It may not be a point of interest to anybody, but it was to me. So make a note of that. Keep an eye on the rear frame pin, and otherwise, for the price point, you're going to get a very good quality defensive gun that should be durable, reliable, and plenty accurate for its application. No longer my first choice, but still a great choice. Hey guys, one supplemental comment on the little Ruger LCP. I will point out that a couple years ago it was subject to a recall on its early models. The ones in current production are fine. If you have one that you've picked up used or that you bought new back before the recall, you're going to want to call and check with the serial number, make sure that you can get in. It gets fixed for free. The ones that have been modified will have a stamp, and you have to look back in here on the back of the hammer to see if it's got a little diamond on it to let you know that the trigger modification has been done to correct the problem. You might want to check I don't care what the rumors were about why. I'm just pointing out to you that is something you want to watch out for. Apparently, without the modification, if it's not new or if it's not doesn't have that diamond showing the modification, apparently there is some concern about whether it's drop safe or not. So I don't know the details other than that, but I just thought I'd let you know about it. See ya.